All right, so here we are, Monday morning, back in the saddle, locking up a green day, at least so far. I'm going to post this recap a little on the earlier side, and this is going to recap the standard sort of gap and go morning of trading. We do still have the GameStop shareholder meeting coming at 11:30 Central, 12:30 Eastern. So I'm going to watch that. It's possible that'll give some opportunities for some more trades depending on what they say. So stay tuned for a possible episode later today, specifically on GameStop. But this morning we had, hey, a 160% squeeze. This was on TRNR. And this stock is kind of interesting. You know, Friday we had that wild card move on KAVL, which gave me, it was like $8,000 of profit. It's a really solid day on Friday. And, you know, KAVL was just super strong. It went from 50 cents all the way up to $8 a share. It pulled back and then into the close, pushed up again to new highs. Well, it ended up selling off a little bit after hours. Pre-market this morning, more or less sideways at $4. No trades on this for me. You know, it just, to me, it was still below this sort of area where it had support on Friday. So I figured it would have resistance if it came back up to this area, and it hasn't been able to get back over it. But because we had this big move on Friday, I think a lot of traders were antsy and looking for what is today's play? What is the stock that's going to make a big move today? So this morning, it ended up being TRNR. Now, when I first sat down, I looked at my scans at about 6:45, and I saw SCNI had put in a big move. Now, SNCI is up 50% right now, $5.27. Got 25 million shares of volume, a 300,000 share float. Relative volume is 468 times higher than average. That's impressive. Well, here's the thing, though. I looked at the chart this morning, 6:45 or whatever it was, and I was like, all right, well, we've got one of these stocks that made a big move early. It pulled back below volume weighted average price. VWAP is this orange line. Gets back up to VWAP, fades again. Gets back up, pulls back, squeezes up to 7, and then drops back to VWAP. Pretty strong drop on this candle right here. Comes back up, drops back down. And so as I was looking at that, I just thought, you know, it might make another move higher, but I'm not going to be early. I like to be, if I can, one of the first traders that is seeing breaking news and is jumping on that first leg of momentum. That's always ideal because then you're at the very beginning. Now, if the stock ends up going up 300, 400%, you've got a great entry. Even if it only goes up 10, 15, 20%, you've still got a nice entry. So you can manage your risk better when you're in early. Well, with SCNI, I certainly wouldn't be in early if I got in, you know, at 7 a.m. right up here. It did nonetheless push up a little bit higher to 7 and 750, and then it dumps right back down here. And coming into the open, it was just choppy. So this one, I didn't end up taking a single trade on. It just, you know, I kind of missed the beginning of the move, and then, you know, we had some bigger red candles. Now, this is on a short time frame. If we look at the 5-minute chart here, you'll notice these large topping tails, right? You see this topping tail here, a little topping tail here. So what we know about topping tails is that the price squeezes up and then the sellers pull it back down. So a topping tail communicates, well, some degree of sentiment that's weak, that the sellers are in charge and they're in control in those moments. So, you know, unfortunately for me, seeing that, I just felt like, I don't know if I can manage my risk on this. So no trades on that one. Okay, so I'm sitting down here, what is it, 7:15, 7:30, and then I see TRNR start to pull away. And this one, I was able to get in at pretty much the beginning of the move, the sort of first leg of the move, which is great. All right, so let's look at this chart. Okay, so it's about 7:30. TRNR pops up right here at 7:18. It pulls back. It then pushes higher up to 450. It dips back down right here, and then it pushes higher right here. So my first trade on TRNR was actually right about here. I bought on this little micro pullback, and I took the trade up to 5, and I made about $500 on it. And I was like, all right, you know, breaking the ice, getting in the green. This is kind of the idea for Monday morning. Now, for those of you guys who have been following along for quite some time, you'll already be familiar with this. But for those who haven't, I'll just share with you. One of the ways that I manage my risk is each day when I sit down, of course, because I'm a day trader, I'm starting at $0 on the day, right? $0 on the day. And I know at the beginning of every day that I have a max loss. All right, so max loss is down here, and mine is actually set at $5,000. That's a fairly big max loss. Having said that, I'd always prefer not to lock up a full $5,000 red day. And so what I've realized is that my highest risk is in these first few trades right here. Because if in the first 3 trades, on trade 1, if I take 10,000 shares and I lose 20 cents, instantly I'm down 2 grand, almost halfway to max loss. I take the next trade with 15,000 shares, I lose 3 grand, boom. I could hit max loss in 2 trades, just like that. So what I have decided to start doing to manage my risk is until I cross over $1,000 on the day in profit, I keep my share size at 5,000 shares. So $1,000 is my first profit target, and then 5,000 is my second. All right, they're a little bit far apart, but first goal is $1,000. And so until I hit $1,000, I have max share position of 5,000. So that means on these first few trades, if I go red with only 5,000 shares, I'm probably only going red $500, maybe $700. So I could have 3 losses and still only be down 2 grand, which gives me a cushion. Now, on the other hand, if I have a couple of green trades, which I had this morning, first green trade with 5,000 shares, I'm up about $500, right? Making a little progress. Good. Second trade, 5,000 shares max, I got myself up 900. Okay. So on my second trade today, first was on TRNR. First trade on TRNR right here. Second trade, I get back in TRNR as it starts to pull away, and that was right here. As it starts to pull away right here, I added on TRNR, and we got the squeeze up to 550. So I didn't take this trade right here. I just wasn't totally sure because we popped up, we pulled back, and notice again, we dipped below volume weighted average price, a little bit of a deeper pullback. Pops up, I was kind of like, I don't know. There was a lot of sellers at 5. I said, let's see if it can hold over 5. It pops up right here. It gets over 5. It dips back down, and then it pushes back up, and I was like, okay, we're over 5. I'm going to get in. So got in right here and kind of rode this momentum on this green candle up to 550. Now, many of you already know that I pay very close attention to half dollars and whole dollars, and you can see how this stock kind of struggles at these levels, going above and below them, not kind of a clean break. So that's all very common. So I got myself up $1,000 on the day, which meant at that point I could increase my size and take off my max share size. I did that, and then you know what happened? On my next trade, I lost $600. I went back down to right here. And so then what do I have to do? I got to put the max 5,000 back on, right? Because now I'm back below that $1,000 mark. So the trade that I lost on, I had a couple trades on TRNR, made a little bit of profit there. And then I switched gears and took a trade on THAR. THAR hit my scanners and it starts squeezing up. I noticed it had a pretty low float. The daily chart I was okay with. And I bought at 4 right here on this micro pullback. Not bad. It goes up to 440. I'm up 10%. And then it flushes down here to 360 and I'm down 10%. Just like that. So anyways, only took 2,500 shares on that, but managed to lose 20 cents, lost $500. So if we look at this one on the daily chart, you'll see that it's a somewhat recent reverse split. Sort of beaten up stock, that curling pattern. That was kind of what we had on KAVL. Beaten up stock, curling pattern. We've seen this quite a bit recently. TRNR, beaten up stock, curling pattern. So this is something that I really do like quite a lot. We can get some really nice moves off the low. SCNI was similar. So anyways, so I took the trade on THAR and lose $500. So now I'm back to up, 450 on the day or something like that. We then have ALLG that pops up and hits the scanners. Now, when it first popped up and hit the scanners, I was like 270 million share float. I don't think I like that, but it's clearly moving. And so I actually jumped in it at about 255 right in here on this micro pullback. It was right in this area that I got in, somewhere right in there. And it squeezes up to 280, 290, pulls back, goes up to 210, and then drops back down here to 167. Ends up that the catalyst on this ends up being written communication regarding a buyout offer. So it comes back to 167. Sometimes when you trade breaking news, you trade the price action, then you realize, oh, that's not actually a catalyst. It's going to give us much more momentum. So anyways, that was that. And then switch back to TRNR. So TRNR at the open gave us this really nice move. So at coming into the open, TRNR is below VWAP, SCNI is below VWAP, and with both of them, I was like, I don't know. I'm not sure if we're going to get any action. TRNR pops up, it drops down, and then it rips up here to 5. I tried to buy for the break of 5, didn't get filled, nothing. It goes up to 597 and it halts up. I was like, darn it, a little bit of FOMO. It opens, hardly dipped at all before squeezing to 8. There was no chance to trade it. It drops back down here, then it pops back up. Right here, I end up taking a long for the breakthrough 8. It was a little risky, but we got the break of 8. We go up to 850. We drop back down, we come back up, and in this area, we got a lot of chop. I took a couple more trades here off of this yellow ascending support line, trying to buy these dips, buying dips, but we didn't get that break of 850 that I was looking for. And then eventually, well, I think traders kind of gave up on it. We got this rejection here. My last trade was a dip right here off of 710, 718. And we got a little bounce on it, but it didn't really hold up that well. So at the end of the day, I'm only up $1,410.40. It's not a big green day for me. And the reason kind of comes back to right here. I broke the ice early this morning on TRNR. I got myself up $1,000, but then gave back half of it right here. Then I got myself, back up 1,000, but I didn't feel comfortable increasing share size because I was sort of feeling like it was choppy. I got myself to 1,500, 1.4, 1,400, whatever it is. And then I just sort of was like, I don't know. I'm not really feeling it today. I don't feel like I have a big cushion. It's the beginning of the week. But you know what? Any day that I can avoid going into the red down here, I think is a good day. So small base hits like this, they definitely add up. It's about being consistent. And all of this right here is a strategy that I implement to try to minimize my drawdown. Now, other traders are different. Some traders are much more speculative with the way they trade. They take a lot more risk. They're comfortable going down 6,000, 7,000. They know they can recover and go back up 7,000, 8,000, more maybe. And there have been times where I'm comfortable doing that, but this hasn't been one of them. Right now, I'm feeling like it's really important to focus on just being consistent, showing up every single day, keeping my sort of mental game like really tight. And this is what I mean by that. When you get yourself into these drawdowns, look, a $10,000 drawdown, it's not the end of the world by any means, but you start getting yourself into some of these big drawdowns and it can be really discouraging. It can be really frustrating. You can feel really defeated. And for me, I just don't like dealing with that. It's just something that I struggle with a little bit. These are the emotions in trading. So right now, this helps keep my emotions really low. And then when the market sets up and I, can hit a nice $5,000, $7,000 winner like I did on Friday. We had this 6,200 on Friday. Let's see, 13,000 a couple weeks ago. This is 20,000 a couple weeks before that. When the market sets up for those kind of days, I'm going to swing big. I'm going to try to, make as much as I can. But small green days is totally okay with me. Keeping the red days small is very important as much as I can. I've had a couple that got a little too big this year already, but there's lots of room and lots of time this year to tighten that up. So got to tighten up the losses, keep those just a little bit tighter. I'd like to keep the losses not bigger than 5,000, but sometimes for whatever reason, I take too much size or I get a little too aggressive and then I catch a big red day. So I'm trying to keep the losses a little smaller for the rest of the year if I can and have more days like this because, these days, they definitely add up. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. If we look at my P&L, let's see. So like TraderView did kind of like an update here. I haven't seen this. Looks like this is already giving me a year to date. I'll do year to date here. So let's see. So yeah, I guess it was already on year to date. But yeah, so it's kind of, I don't know, change this a little bit. But that's okay. The cumulative drawdown is helpful to see. That's right here. So the biggest drawdown was 29,000 in March, which was way too big. I was really annoyed with myself. But the rest of the drawdowns have been more moderate. I wonder if we can look at. I'll do a custom range. So custom range. Well, no, I'll do last year. It's giving me a little bit of a hard time here. So last year, this is my P&L last year. Just like a workhorse, just like slow and steady. It's nothing sexy. It's nothing super fancy, but just keeping my head down and grinding, you know. And these were my cumulative drawdowns last year. Biggest one was like 22,000. So kept the drawdowns pretty minimal. And I feel good about that. That's, to me, those kind of metrics I can feel pretty good about. So now we pull back here to 2024. So we can look at this. So that's kind of cool. So, right. So we see that nice long equity curve. We can go back to 2022 here. Let's see if this will work for me. So yeah, you know, like there were a couple stretches there where I was really on fire, right? And now it's been a little slower. I had a nice little stretch here, a nice little move, and now just kind of like steady. But you know what? That's over $1 million. So it adds up, you know, over time. And as the market started to cool off, I started to bring my risk in check, right? So my risk has been pretty in check here for the last year and a half after this bigger drawdown in January of 2021, you know, and 2022. And that was kind of the bear market was beginning there. And I was coming off of a really hot year in 2021. If we go back to 2021, you'll see 2021 was like crazy good. But remember, we had GameStop, right? So we had GameStop in 2021, and it was just like epic, unreal. And then it's kind of slowed down. But nonetheless, it's consistent. And that's what I think is really important, is focusing on that consistency in trading. So for me, I know there's other people out there that are going to take more risk and swing for the fences and hit some more home runs, but I'd rather have a lot of base hits than you know, a few home runs, but a lot of strikeouts. So, you know, it's just positioning, and it's whatever you're comfortable with. For me, the strikeouts hurt me more emotionally than maybe they do other people. You know, if you're able to shake it off, you know, as Taylor Swift says, with no issue whatsoever, then that gives you more power to take that kind of risk and continue trading really well without getting compromised. But unfortunately, that's something that I, along with many other people, struggle with. So anyways, that's it for me. So this is my sort of midday recap here of the trades from this morning. 160% squeeze, TRNR, locking up $1,700 just on that stock, $1,400 on the day. Green day is good. It's the beginning of the week, and this is going to be a little bit of a funny week. So anyways, we've got this GameStop shareholder meeting coming up here in about an hour, so I'm going to stay tuned for that. I may get some trades out of it. Not sure. That's going to be determined, so just be sitting tight. And then, of course, regular trading tomorrow. Wednesday, market is closed. We have a market holiday here in the U.S. So June 19th, market's closed. So no trading Wednesday. And then, you know, Thursday and Friday, end of the week. So anyways, a little bit of a funny week this week, but I'm just going to keep chipping away at these base hits and try to keep myself, you know, in the driver's seat with the wind at my back and keep this momentum going. So thanks as always for tuning in. If you'd like to check out a 2-week trial at Warrior Trading, there's a link posted in the description and the top of the comments. I'll remind you as always that trading is risky. My results aren't typical, so manage your risk, take it slow, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. Thanks as always for tuning in. I hope you hit that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you for the next upload real soon.